Hi, everybody. I wanted to hop into this newsletter to say thank you so much for being on this journey of Dancing Under the Light as it makes its phenomenal journey, fast journey, from the page to something that is going to hopefully be on the screen sometime soon. I also want to let you know that phase one of this journey, which began in earnest in January 2024, is now done. It started with the infusion of a very generous gift to allow me to build my business infrastructure, all the foundation support that has to be in place before you actually go out and market and get into the real world. And that included getting a lawyer and making sure that my intellectual property is protected at every single point of this journey, getting a communications director to help me build my websites and these newsletters and my social media assets and all of that invisible support, which is so essential, is was done in large part from the startup money that was funded to me. In addition, support from friends and family have come in, thanks to so many who have believed in this journey, and that allowed me to do several very important things. Uh, for one thing, it allowed me to listen and learn about this whole industry, and that means going to festivals and markets, because there's no other way to learn about how this whole thing works than to immerse yourself into relationships and be on site. So I went to the Busan International Film Festival in South Korea at the end of 2024, and at the beginning of January 25, this January, I went to Sundance at the invitation of my lawyer, who put together a industry lunch, and I learned from those studio executives that we're about ready to go into a world where with much certainty, that stories by women and people of color, and certainly anything that has to do with immigrants, are going to be suppressed and quieted down and maybe even erased as we move into a terrible era of marginalization and erasure, continued erasure, which meant for me that my story, Dancing in the Light, which is a counter narrative to all of that, which pushes back and portrays immigrants, and it lifts up the stories of women and girls and indigenous cultures such as the Polynesian culture, which is a very big part of my life, fight back and just placed in front and center as the protagonist in society. That resonated so well with Sundance. And at that point, my lawyer said to me, you got to go to Cannes International Film Festival in France. And so that began my continued education to talk to the industry, to find out what do I need to do to get into the door, to get into the right meetings, to have my pitches, and how do I do a pitch. And I learned all of that. I learned what a log line is. I learned what comps are. You know, I don't really watch a lot of TV. I don't watch a lot of film, which is, I know, a bad no-no. My New Year's resolution is to change all that. So I had to learn a whole new vocabulary, a whole new industry, pretty quickly. And of course, I came back and I went to the AFM, American Film Market, this past November, and as you read earlier, that I was selected to pitch live, and I did quite well. And so my trajectory has been incredible. Now, what I've also done through support from friends and family and colleagues is I've created very important pitch assets. I need to have materials to bring into meetings. So we developed a 4-minute trailer that you've seen on my website. We're in development to come up with a 10-minute short AI film that I want to be able to introduce and submit to various film festivals to keep Dancing Under the Light, keep the story going, keep in front of sellers and buyers and distributors and financiers and investors and people who might latch on to this opportunity to keep moving my project to the next level. Everything is one handshake away from getting to the handshake that I really need to get me to the promised land. I wanted to also let you know that we're going to close out phase one, but phase two begins now. And here we begin to get the Dramamine going, to pick up speed. I am going to hire I need to hire a writer to come up with a pilot episode to help me come up with an arc for how Dancing in the Light might look as a limited series. I need to have someone come up with a show Bible. I will also need to engage the services of companies that will go and pitch for me based on the relationship they know. This is all big stuff that I think is going to get me to the next step. Once I get to the place where I can reach a financier or an investor, then I think I'm done fundraising. I think that's when I'll be able to pull back a little bit and let the process take its course. But for now, we are finished with phase one. Hooray, hooray. And off we go to phase two, which is really to get the writing done. That takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to put together a pilot episode. There's a lot in my story. It covers a whole backstory of my family from the missionary era of China all the way to the 1970s. So there's a lot in there. It's going to take a lot of work to get a pilot script done that will be compelling for a financier or a studio to say, I want that story, and to attach talent to it. I would love to know your thoughts about who you think could play Debbie Chin as a young girl, who you think could play my mother. These are now parts of the conversations we're going to have as we take phase two going off the road. But thank you very much for hanging in there and for being part of this extraordinary journey. I never really intended to be an author. I never intended to be a filmmaker. But I'm telling you something, it's the joy of my life. It is something that I never expected to do. I love doing this because it stretches every part of what's possible. And moreover, my goal in getting this film done is to really change the narrative and to change the way we talk about immigrants and the way we talk about each other, and to remember that we're all immigrants. We are all assimilating in many ways. And would that we could empower young girls to come into their own power. And that's what I hope to do with Dancing in the Light, using the story about me as a young girl who moved through twists and turns. It's going to be a dramedy, drama and comedy, a little bit of the comedy, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I really welcome you to hang in there, and I'm going to share with you a photo montage of what the year has been and invite you to come and join and support us in phase two. Thanks so much. Mele Kalikimaka. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa.